What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another tech video. It's been around a month since the last one came out, so I decided that now is the time for the next one to come out. And this one is going to be labelled, Are Mechanical Keyboards Worth It? We'll be looking through the pros and cons of mechanical keyboards, and I'll share my personal experience with them so that you, the final customer, can make the right decision. First of all, I'm going to preface this. I've only had experience with one mechanical keyboard, and most of my knowledge comes from online reviews, YouTube, and etc, etc. And also my friends as well. But I have to definitely say, the difference is quite big. So most of you, if not all, are probably using a membrane keyboard right now. Probably something which you have just got with your PC, or maybe even just your laptop keyboard. These use a rubber dome switch, which essentially works in the way that a layer of rubber is covered. Underneath there's a switchboard, and when you press down, the entire thing registers a key press. And this, based on the location of the key press, tells the computer where you've pressed and what key to use. Main issues with this kind of keyboard is that they are rather low quality. They don't generally tend to feel quite nice to the touch and have a pretty irritating sound, all whilst holding you back from actually being able to type and game better. So the pros of these, however, is the fact that they're generally very, very cheap, except for maybe some of the more gaming oriented rubber dome keycaps, which you may find in things such as the Razer Ornata, or maybe even Mecha membrane keycaps. They generally will have a very mushy feel, and will also be quite cheap, ranging from about 50 to 20-ish pounds. Exceptions, as mentioned, Razer Ornata, which uses Mecha membrane key switches and is around £60. You are paying premiums for things such as RGB, etc, etc. To add to this, rubber dome keycaps are something which you find everywhere, so once you get really used to them in one place, you will be able to get used to them in other places, whereas mechanical keyboards have a very, very slight learning curve. Now we move on to the mechanical keyboards, the main topic of this video. First of all, I'd like to say that the current keyboard I use is a Razer Black Widow Elite, which uses green switches. These are tactile and make a very loud sound, meaning that you not only hear an audible confirmation that you have pressed a key, but also a tactile sensation in a sense. So, what exactly are the pros of going with a mechanical keyboard? Well, first of all, they feel way better. I got my mechanical keyboard about a year ago, and it feels and sounds, in my opinion, quite good. It has a very clicky and tactile feedback, as mentioned before, and is, in my opinion, very nice for gaming and also typing. I noticed immediately when I switched to this keyboard that I was typing around 5 to 10 words per minute faster. When I started off, I was around 30 words per minute with my membrane keyboard, and when I switched, I was around 35 to 45 words per minute on average with my mechanical keyboard. Of course, I've been improving quite significantly, mainly because I have been using my keyboard and computer in general way more because of this COVID situation. Another pro of these keyboards is that they are generally quite customizable. So you have three types of switches. You have the blues, which are the Cherry MX blues or the Altemo blues, or like something along those lines. These are generally clicky, give you a tactile feedback, and have a larger actuation force required. However, of course, you can change this depending on what switch you have. Then you have the browns, which, whilst having tactile feedback, don't have as much of an audible feedback when you press a switch. These are slightly better for gaming and streaming, and also typing, but many people find these to be rather undesirable from online reviews. And finally, you have linear switches. These are the perfect switches for gaming, as they have low actuation force, which means that you don't have to put as much effort when you're clicking onto the keyboard. And to add to this, they feel very nice, as it's just a smooth press with no tactile bump. Some people may prefer this, some people may not like this. It's really a matter of preference, to be honest. And you, of course, have many different variations. You can have Holy Pandas, you can have MX Blacks, you can have Speed Silver switches, and you can also have optical switches, which are just a whole new other kind of brand of keyboard. These ones have an actuation in which, rather than your key press being from a mechanical kind of press, and which sends a signal down to the keyboard, there is a light beam, and when the light is disrupted by the key press, it registers. It's way quicker, has absolutely no debounce delay, which is when the kind of spring of the keyboard has a little bit of vibrations, and the computer has to cut these out and therefore creates delay on the keyboard, and also are generally way quicker. The main cons of a mechanical keyboard are the fact that they're generally more expensive. Of course, you can go down the budget route, but those are sometimes even worse than membrane switches. I feel like this argument is kind of like the argument between pre-built PCs and custom PCs, as custom PCs, whilst generally being more expensive, are also way better, more customizable, and are more personalized to you. Whereas pre-built are cheaper, you can get the parts for better, but in general, you don't have as much customizability. The matter of whether you should go for a mechanical keyboard is more based on your budget, I would say. If you have the ability to go for a mechanical keyboard, then I would certainly suggest it. There's no way that I'm going back to membrane after this, after having felt the kind of world of mechanical keyboards. But if you are slightly cash strapped, then certainly I would suggest going for membrane. Whilst it's not as nice, it's definitely way cheaper, and who knows, maybe one day, if you save up that money, you'll be able to go ahead and actually get yourself that dream keyboard. In this video, I haven't really discussed custom mechanical keyboards, but they generally fall under the mechanical keyboards bracket, while still being more expensive and more of an enthusiast thing. That's all for today. Make sure to like, subscribe to Dev Talks Tech, and I'll see you in the next one. Check out my gaming channel. I'll link it down in the description. See ya!